All right, everybody, you guys get ready to roll? We'll get the ball going in the next 20 seconds, okay? Okay, I gotta ask you, how have you been leveraging anything that we've been learning so far in any capacity? Okay, thank you.
Using it with not only presentations to potential listings, potential sellers, I was just sharing with Juana, but I've also used it to edit some images for listings.
Nice.
Created also a flow chart for home buyer consultations.
Okay.
So I've been playing with it, trying to get creative. Business partners have requested CMAs type of thing.
Uh-huh.
So just get it from PRPR.
Yep.
Clean it up on ChatGPT and then use Gamma. I've been using Gamma a lot.
Yeah,
I love it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it sounds like you're definitely already not just playing around with it, you're incorporating it into your business.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, who else? Who else wants to share? How have you been leveraging any of the AI, any of the video that we've been learning? What about you? I saw you shake your head no.
I'm not too good at none of it, but I'm trying.
Trying? Okay, how many classes of mine have you been to? 2 or 3? Okay. So after you attend a class, do you go back and jump on your phone, jump on your computer and try any of? No? Why not?
I don't know. I was waiting until the end of the class. I thought I would just by looking, but I haven't even tried.
Yep. Okay. So think about it this way. I like to play golf. I'm not a good golfer, but I like to play. I watch all the golf videos in the world. When I get out to play and I swing the club for the first time, it doesn't make me any better.
Yeah.
You have to put it into play, right? Now, if you don't mind, miss, what's your name?
Juana.
Juana. Okay. Juana, I hope you don't mind, but being that we're communicating here, are you on target to hit your goals for 2026?
Yeah.
You are? Excellent. And would you be open or would you want to close a few more deals?
Of course.
Say 3 more from now to the end of the year? What's your average commission check?
13.
13 grand. Nice. 13 grand times 3 is 39 grand. What would you do with an extra $39,000 in your bank account if you had it right now, free and clear?
Well, just thinking how we can invest it.
There you go. I like your thinking, Juana. I like the fact that you didn't say go buy a new Coach purse. How am I going to invest it? I like that. The reason I ask this is because sometimes I feel from a real estate agent's perspective, you have to really think, okay, when I'm in a class, if I apply this, what can that bring me? If you don't dollarize it, meaning like if you don't physically think about the dollars, and I'm not talking about just hoarding the money, you put it in your bank account, but for example, like Juana said, what can I do with this extra $39,000? Could that be used for potential down payment on an investment property? 100%, right? And then what does that do for you? If you put down $39,000 on a property, let's just say theoretically, and you work with an amazing agent like yourself, negotiate some closing costs, maybe now you have a property. So fast forward in 10 years, what happens if you purchase in the city of Ontario? The city of Ontario is only expected to continue to go up because of all the money we have pouring into our city right now. That $39,000 could be worth considerably more, maybe $200,000 in 10 years. But now really what it is, it's simply because you're applying what you're learning. So you hear knowledge is power, and then you've heard applied knowledge is power. So my point is that if you are in this class, then take the time to go on out and just to play with it. Try it, because everything I'm showing you works. I got a call from a broker, and he runs a huge EXP office out in Camarillo. And he said this, because he was like a typical broker, invites me in, I'm speaking, he sits in the back, he's just sitting there doing his thing. Sometimes brokers don't really pay attention because they're like, oh, I'm the broker, right? I'm so busy. One of his agents sits in the class, and then his agent lands a $1.3 million listing this last weekend. He calls me and he said, she did exactly what you said, which was running the 4 prompts, preparing it with ChatGPT, preparing it with Manus. Remember Manus, the $40 a month? So now he calls me to say, what can I do to get you back on out to my office? Because obviously Betty did it. And I'm like, Betty did it, as most of the other agents, they just simply don't. That's what makes it so good for people who do. If you apply, it's gonna make you a standout for sure. Have you had any wins based off of what you've done so far?
Yes, absolutely. For me, one of the things that is very important is to show proficiency to my business partners, the ones that send me referrals, and they were quite impressed because I turned that, information around really quick.
Right.
And it looked very nicely done.
So
yes.
Yesterday I was on a webinar with a realtor out in Denver, Colorado. And we were just doing it was like a 20-minute one-on-one. And as I'm on the call with her, my phone goes off and I look, and it's from a seller, somebody that wants to sell a beautiful custom built home, built in 2018 in Yucaipa, but it's in that enclave in Yucaipa where it's all a bunch of custom houses. Their backyard, it's insane. It looks like an oasis. They built a custom pool. It's a circular pool. Like, I haven't seen any designs like that. But the husband has a price in mind that's just not realistic. And so now what did I do? I ran my traditional comps, but I also ran the ChatGPT. And so I told ChatGPT, my seller thinks his house is worth this. If there's a way for us to justify that value, let me know. But at the same time, if you can give me insight so I can have that straightforward conversation to also bring him back to reality. And ChatGPT did a really good job on the way it structured it. Pretty much it was like, not if you're a wishful thinker, but it's like presentation can only go so far, right? With all the things that you do, video, this and that, because people are still gonna look at things like cost per square foot. They're gonna take into consideration the lot size, and then it started giving me specific parameters of other properties in order to bring my client down. So we had a call last night. I just got the text yesterday, and then the wife was like, no rush. And I was like, no problem, let's connect later today. So this morning, the wife called me and she said, yeah, my husband went to bed and he was thinking about it. And of course he wants this price up here, but you definitely brought a lot of reality, which she's super happy because she's like, I'm on board with you. But he thinks his house is worth about 200K more than what somebody would realistically pay. And I get it. He put his blood, sweat, and tears, and he paid, a lot of money to build the house. And he's also part of the design squad. His background is in construction.
I have a question, not related to this in particular, but do you think we can come up with a system, I guess, to use AI to scale up our business, but primarily focusing on AI performance?
AI performance. What do you mean?
Any suggestions that is not gonna tell me go door knock, 100.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yep.
Daily,
So what I see is this. I just emailed back a company. It's a data analysis company, and they are based in the two graduates from Berkeley. Here's my point. Hey there. You got here just in time. We just started. So they have created an AI system for us as real estate professionals that they have a very sequential process. When properties hit like an NOD, they have a whole AI system involved in trying to bring leads to us as agents. So they reached out to me to say, hey, look, we have this program. It's like $250 a month. And would you be interested in promoting it? And I told them, I said, $250 a month is a lot of money for an average realtor. But if it generates results, people will pay for it all day, right? Because if it's good money that brings you even more, then of course we'll do it. But my point is that I saw what they did. Then my title rep calls me, hey, John, you got to check out this company. They have these AI things in place. Then I talk to a real estate broker. He gets the expireds. The expireds automatically enter, without him touching it, automatically enter into his CRM. Based off of his CRM, he has some AI in place that will then send emails and text messages to the prospects. And what he's working on are automated AI calls. That is like super high level. I said, how did you do this? Because I know he's not tech savvy. And he's like, I connected with this AI guy. He's from Egypt, and I connected with him online. He's building out my whole framework. So I don't know of anything that I would feel comfortable bringing to you just yet. But anytime I get asked that, I'm always telling agents, it's around the corner. In my opinion, it's around the corner. I also met the CEO of a company that is, the chairman of the company is Spencer Raskoff. If you guys know Spencer Raskoff, he was the founder CEO of Zillow. So Spencer Raskoff is a multi-billionaire, right? So Spencer Raskoff invested a tremendous amount of money in this company. And I think it's called House Canary or something. And Luis Poggi is the CEO. I met Luis because we spoke at a conference together. And him and I have had multiple phone calls. I think Luis is gonna have an amazing platform for us as agents, because then I'm like, you know what would make sense if you did this or if you did that? And he's like, that's why I love talking to agents, because you guys are out there. His background is he's one of the former founding people of Zillow. So he made a ton of money when the company went public. He made a ton of money, just over the years. So these guys have a lot of money behind them that they're all throwing in. So as soon as something is like, just sign up for it and set up for it and you're good, I think I'll definitely be the one to bring that to you. But here's where, if you're taking any notes, this is what I would say. Make sure that you engage with your database. Your database right now is going to be more valuable to you than ever before, in my opinion. I just got an offer accepted on a $1.1 million listing. We were able to negotiate a 2.5% commission. So if we do the math on that, that's $25,000 plus. And that was all from my database. My database where, remember I told you guys, I record a video once a quarter and I email it to my database, right? And it was simply through my emails that a 30-some-year-old saw my video. She said she waited for my video because she always knew she was gonna sell her home. But what did I use for that? I would use things like RPR, upload to ChatGPT, give me a script, so simple. So my investment of time was minutes, then I record using captions, do a simple editing, 3 minutes, and then my video is set, ready to go. So.
And these are the personalized messages.
This is actually a general video. So it's not even like, hey Susie, hey Jim, in her case, her name is Stephanie. Hey Stephanie, nope. This is just the market update. So here's what's going on in today's real estate market. And then I start getting right into those details. But now let's do this. Today, I want to discuss with you something that is more high level. It doesn't mean it's complicated at all. When I say high level, it just means that I don't know of any real estate agents that are doing this. Anytime that I've talked to agents and I show them, even high level producers, every one of them is looking at me like their jaw's hitting the floor to say, I had no idea AI could do that. And I'm telling them, because they're like, how did you learn? Did you see somebody? And I'm like, no, I didn't see anybody do this. I just try everything. That's what it is. I just try it. And I also understand that AI is so dang smart that it really kind of figures things out. Okay, so I'm selling a property. This property's already sold, but if you guys have any contracts, let's just say like a solar contract, that could be a little bit complicated. Also, how much time are you going to spend reading a contract to understand what it means? But in this case, I just took the solar contract that my seller sent me, and then I uploaded it to ChatGPT. Now right here, when I come on over, I click the plus sign, and when I click the plus sign, this is how I add files, right? So I uploaded a file, and then that's how I added this here. And then I told ChatGPT, I'm selling this property. Give me the main points that I should share with buyers as they are asking about it. And then in 27 seconds, because ChatGPT is really good at reading contracts, it gives me a breakdown, and it says, main buyer talking points, Sunrun solar agreement. The home has an existing Sunrun Bright Save solar agreement. The system details are strong. So I did have one real estate agent at my open house ask about the output, right? And she's like, well, what is the output on X, Y, and Z? Maybe she was a science major, I don't know. But now, based off of the contract, this is some information that I have. 18 panels, 2 inverters, and also tells me that this was designed to offset 102% of the home's estimated electric usage. Important stuff, monthly payment with annual increases. So I have all this information here. Buyers can typically assume the agreement. That's all here. Sunrun is responsible for maintenance and solar performance. Buyer still remains connected to Edison. Now, this is valuable in 2 parts. Number one, when I was working on getting this listing before I had the signed contract, the seller sent me, and she sent the other realtor that I was competing with. She sent us both the agreement. Part of her questions when we had to submit an official proposal was, what is your background in working with solar transfers? Now remember, that was not a question that she thought of on her own. That was a question that ChatGPT had given her, because she later told me, all the questions I asked you, they're all from AI. She went on AI and they gave her 32 questions. Remember I told you she gave me 32 freaking questions? So now, part of what I did in order to show her like, hey, I'm a professional, I'm not a hobbyist, is that I made sure to do my homework here, and I'm not gonna send her all these details like this because this is a lot. Look at what I put right here. Create a text for me, including main points primarily buyers care about. Monthly payment, length of agreement, and that's usually it. And then ChatGPT gave me this very clean text. Here's a clean text you can send. Hi, the property does have an existing solar agreement. The agreement is for 20 years and it began in 2018, so there's approximately 12 years remaining, subject to Sunrun confirming the exact in-service date. The monthly payment started at $137.91 per month and increases annually by 2.9% based on the contract schedule. The current monthly payment should be confirmed with the most recent Sunrun statement, but the agreement does include the full payment schedule. The buyer would typically assume the solar agreement through Sunrun as part of the purchase. The benefit is that the system is already installed and Sunrun is responsible for monitoring, maintenance, repairs, and insurance on the systems. Now, if you think about it, if you're a seller and if you're sending over a solar agreement, most of the sellers are not even taking the time to read the solar agreement themselves, especially when they inherited a property. All they know is, hey, look, here's a solar agreement. Tell me what to do with it, right? And then the average realtor would sit there and fumble with it. Maybe they would read through it. Maybe they would have a problem articulating the details. This is where I 100% rely on AI in order to not just get the info, but to organize the info. This morning, before I head on over here, I have a call at 7 p.m. My client is buying a property and they're assuming a mortgage. So the mortgage that they're assuming is a 2.6875 or something. It's an FHA loan, which is like super low in comparison to where the market's at, right? And we're lucky to be in this position, but there was some information that was just uncovered that my client was like, hey, I had no idea about this. So now she's a little bit concerned. Should I move forward? I need to think about it. I need to pray about it. And I'm like, hey, I totally get it. So then I pick up ChatGPT. I talk to ChatGPT and I said, here's the situation. Here's my client's concern. Here's my thoughts. When I give my message, the way that I speak, the way that I talk, it could be a little bit sometimes sharper than what people would want because I tend to just be more straightforward. So I told ChatGPT, do your thing with it. And the way that it crafted the message was a way that when I sent it to her, my co-listing agent is also he's the Chief Information Officer of Irvine PD, which means he's the guy that's always on TV. So he represents Irvine PD, like he's always on the news talking about what's going on in Irvine. So what he did is that he sent me a message and he's like, I think it's PIO, Public Information Officer. He said, you should be a PIO because of the way that you deliver your messages. And that's why I said, it's not me, it's ChatGPT is what it is. But my point is that this is an example, right? And then this is why we work so closely together because this is not about memorizing scripts. This is about you understanding the logic because once you understand the logic, then we can proceed and move forward. So now let's keep going forward here. This says right here, okay, update the text so that way it also includes information about the kilowatts included in the bullet point form so that it's easy for somebody to read and understand. It's a real estate agent asking about solar specifics. So now I have a realtor who's interested in buying our house, well, their client. So now at the open house, she says to me, can you send us over the specifics? Because my client's really interested, but of course you guys still have 12 years left on this statement here. That's a lot of money we're gonna have to pay. So look at how ChatGPT organizes the info. Hi, here's the main solar details for the property. Solar company, agreement type, agreement length, contract began, monthly payment, annual increase, current payment, solar system size, panels, inverters, estimated first year production, original estimated offset, buyer assumption. I mean, that's pretty solid. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
So this is again where it comes back down to this. So now let's move into the next point. So now I get an offer on this property. When I get an offer on this property, I am dealing with two parties. There's two sisters involved. One sister is the executor of the estate. The other sister is also a benefactor. She gets 50% of the estate. The executor says, if I want to sign, I can sign. But I want my sister to be involved in the process because I don't want to have to deal with it later. And so I'm like, okay, not a problem. So then I upload the offer. This is the offer for my property right here. And this is how the realtor sent over the offer. The MLS, the letter from, I think it's the lending company. And then he includes some additional details. And here's the RPR, right? So now what I do is that I upload all of that to ChatGPT. In addition to that, he sent me an email. And so now I take the email and I just screenshot the bullet points. So that way now I'm giving ChatGPT as much information as possible. Here's the offer, here's all of the documents. In this case, remember, the realtor put it in one PDF, but had he sent an RPR and had he sent any other additional documents independently, I would have just uploaded them independently. And then I tell ChatGPT this. Okay, and keep in mind, I'm not typing, okay? I'm actually speaking, I'm talking, because remember, you know how I tell you voice dictation? It's easier, I think, just to give more details when you're talking. Okay, I'm selling a house, 1526 North Amber Court, Ontario, California. And I'm going to be chatting with the sellers today, and both Corrine spelled, look at how I spelled her name. And the reason I spell is because I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to create some visuals, and I don't want them to misspell my client's name. So I said spelled Karrine and Cecile. So then I spell Cecile's name, C-E. And this is how I'm saying it, K-A-R-R. And then ChatGPT displays it like this. And we're going over details of an offer. I've included both the offer as well as a screenshot of the offer details, as well as the link for the listing. Now the link for the listing is going to be probably from like homes.com, realtor.com, just a website. And what else did I say? Offer details as well as a link for the listing. And then lastly, some additional notes that I took from the lender. The notes from the lender indicate that the qualifying score is 795. Now, how did I get this? Here's what I wish that the lender would have done. I wish that the lender would have picked up the phone and called me. Hey, John, this is Mark. My real estate agent, Rick, sent over an offer for our clients, Susie and Jim Smith. He didn't do that. That's what I think like a great lender should do. I don't know if your guys' lenders do that, but I think that they should. And they should because it's impressive to me as the agent. And you guys know what happens. I don't care what a realtor says. Oh, I have no influence over what my client says. You probably aren't that influential as a realtor because most of the time your clients say, Percy, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Do they not say that? They say that all the time, right? So now if a lender's calling me, I'm gonna tell my client, I got this lender on the line, very proactive. He reached out to me and here's what he discussed. So besides the point, I called the lender and I asked them about the file, qualifying scores. I asked them about the down payment, debt ratios, all that. So I said, the notes from the lender indicate that the qualifying score is 795, which is great. 795 qualifying credit score, that's amazing, right? 10% down, first time home buyer, and the debt ratios are 39.6%. which is fantastic considering that they can go up to 50%. Overall, solid buyer, all sources, all funds have already been sourced. So you see how when I'm talking, I actually messed up there. I said all sources, all funds have already been sourced, but ChatGPT just dictates everything that I say, but it cleans it up too. And that's what I love about AI. And that's why I like talking to it because it's like smart enough to know what I'm trying to say. Have already been sourced and the lender can close as early as 21 days. The buyer did shorten the contingencies, 12 days for loan, appraisal, and inspections, which the default per California contract is 17 days. I want to be able to do a presentation, listen to this, with my seller via Zoom. So if you can create a slide deck highlighting the key points of the offer, that would be fantastic. So I would also like to include next steps. Next steps would be responding to the offer, and this would include either accepting the offer, responding and accepting the terms, but maybe clarifying key conditions, or we counter back and we indicate what it is specifically that you want to get this deal done. Okay, so now based off of what I just did here, what are your thoughts? Based off your observation of this long-winded prompt.
It's amazing. I think it's very deck too.
I'm asking for a slide deck.
I need to make
It
you
sounds very
understand work.
Yep, sounds very professional.
Professional, yes.
Thank you.
It's a lot
Very
for
detailed,
me.
professional.
What'd you say?
It would be a lot for me to
What?
come up with all of those questions and bullet points and ask, I guess maybe because I'm, not experienced enough.
Right.
But I guess practice makes better anyway. It's just a lot from the beginning
Okay,
to
and
start out.
how long have you been in real estate for?
Well, it's not so much how long I've been in real estate, how long they've been doing this, but I'm kind of part-time in and out, but 25 years.
Okay, the reason I ask is because it's two parts. When you say what you say, I'm thinking either you maybe don't have familiarity with the details of an offer, which that would be like a newbie realtor, like if you were 6 months in, I would totally get it. Maybe I think what it is more is the structure, like but when you say like it would be a little bit more for you, I get it. So I'm gonna give you we call it like a hack. It's kind of like the easy way to overcome that. And then what did you say? You had mentioned something.
It's gonna make you easy your job.
Yeah, got it. Okay, make it easier for me to do my job. So here's the key takeaway of what I want you to see here. Do you notice how much detail I gave the prompt? So remember this, just think of the art of the prompt, the art of the prompt. Everything falls back in your prompt. And so this is where whenever you're giving details to ChatGPT, and if you don't know what to say, let's just start a new thread right here. Let's open that way we can do it kind of together. We'll do a brand new thread. And say I was uploading an offer. Here's what I would do. Hey ChatGPT, so I'm gonna be uploading an offer for a home that I'm selling in the city of Ontario. And it seems like a pretty good offer, but I'm not sure of what information I should give you. So give me a list of questions that I can answer. And then what I'll upload is I'll upload the actual offer, which is going to be a residential purchase agreement sent over to me by the agent representing the buyer. And I also have some financial documents as well. But what other information do you need to know in order to help me create a presentation that I can review with my seller in order to discuss next steps? So now that I stop talking, it's going to take exactly what I just said. And then what we're going to do here is, if you notice, whenever you're using ChatGPT, if you look at light, this is going to be where it's going to give you an immediate answer, maybe not as good, not as comprehensive as you like. And then there's also, if I keep going, medium, I tend to always work with high, just keep in mind, like high is usually what I work with, but I'm going to just be a little bit more patient with my response. Let's send that, and then let's see what ChatGPT gives me as an answer. So it's thinking right now, and remember, you said, it's a little bit too much. I don't know what information to give. Well, can we answer this? It says documents to upload, completed California residential purchase agreement, buyer's pre-approval, proof of funds, loan estimate or financing breakdown if provided, buyer cover letter if any email or text from the buyer's agent explaining the offer. Remember, I took a screenshot of that and uploaded it? So now ChatGPT is actually telling you what to do, right? It's telling you the steps. Questions about the property and listing. What is the property address? What's the current price? How many days on the market? Have there been any price reductions? And I think that you would agree, you could just take the time to answer these questions and upload those documents. Yes? There you go. There's the answer. So whenever you don't know the answer, always ask for it.
Ask what you don't pay.
Yep. So now look at this. Here's what ChatGPT gave me. Done. Here is the seller Zoom slide deck, because I said I want to do a Zoom meeting with my client. Remember I said that right here? I said I want to do a presentation with my seller via Zoom. So then ChatGPT sends me this. So now this is a PowerPoint document. You see right up here where it says PPTX. Who in this room has PowerPoint? Raise your hands. Okay, so if you have a Windows computer, then most likely you have PowerPoint. If you don't have Windows, like I use an iPad, I pay $9.99 to Microsoft, so that way I could have Excel, never use it, so that way I could have PowerPoint, and I use it. And I'll tell you why I use it. Because of all the presentations I do, a lot of offices will have their own computer set up, and I don't use my iPad. I have to use their house computer, so I need to send them a PowerPoint file. So that's why I just like to have PowerPoint on here, so I can be like, not a problem, I'll shoot it over your way. But my point in saying this is this photo is pixelated. So all I would do at this point is come on over, download it, open it up in PowerPoint if I want to be extra. If I don't want to be extra, my client's not going to be mad because I have a pixelated image. But if I want to be extra, I can simply download this in PowerPoint, and then I take my own photo and I just lay it over this. But that's a little bit more advanced. But let's just look at this. 1526 North Everett Court, offer review for Kareen and Cecile. A clean walkthrough of price, buyer strength, seller requested cost, timeline, and response options. Offer price $751, 30-day escrow, solar payoff requested. And then here are the details. The offer is above list price with seller cost request. Purchase price $751, our original list price $735, over list price $16,000, deposit $10,000, 30-day escrow. And look at ChatGPT on its own took a screenshot of this from the RPR. And what does it say? Buyer requested terms. Seller to pay buyer broker, compensation 2.25%. Seller to pay off the solar contract. Loan appraisal and inspection contingencies to be shortened to 12 days. Conventional financing, 10% down. Gross price is strong, net depends on solar payoff. So now this is where I tell you, you've heard me often say, you don't have to worry about something being perfect. Just do it, just like let it go, right? And so now when I'm reviewing this, if you notice, the text is off there, right? Now, if I'm simply just taking the file directly from ChatGPT, you might have some formatting issues. But if you open it up in PowerPoint, you could fix all that. And it's really easy. Just tap on it and extend the text. That's all you got to do. Move it around, so it's very simple and easy to fix.
Just to add to that, for the you don't have to have PowerPoint. You can put that PowerPoint file into your Gmail account, which is called Slides. So they have Pages, which is Word, Numbers, which is Excel on your Gmail account, and then Slides, which is PowerPoint in Gmail, your Gmail account.
Perfect. See, so now you don't even have to pay $9.99. So this says right here, buyer brokers request, approx over net, seller framing. The buyer came in above asking, but the net result depends heavily on the verified solar payoff. We already had an idea of what that amount would be because my client had contacted the solar department previously. These are the cost obligations to clarify before acceptance. Buyer appears to be well qualified, 39.6% debt ratios, 21 days. Why this matters? The buyer shortened contingency periods, so you can see this here. Strong buyer, negotiable seller economics. What's strong? What do we need to protect? Here's 3 ways to respond, and this is not showing correctly. So let's just go back and do this. Here's what I said. Update the net sheet with the assumption of paying off the solar, 20,000, and a mortgage of, so I put that in, and a HELOC of, because then now my clients also want to dig into the details of what their overall estimated net would be. When I went through this with my client, just so you guys are aware, when I was on the call with them, I had a net sheet, but then the sister, remember there's 2 sisters, one sister started asking about a lot of assumptions. Well, what if this and what if that? What I could have done was, let me get back to you tomorrow because now it's in the evening, it's already 7 o'clock in the evening. I got to contact my escrow company tomorrow. But instead is I took my net sheet given to me by my escrow company, uploaded it to ChatGPT, and then I told ChatGPT what we needed to adjust. And then I came back with numbers. I have that verified of what I have, and then I have verified what my client netted when it was all said and done. And those numbers were virtually precise. So, but I always protect myself to say, hey, listen, this is only based off of an assumption. Escrow will be open tomorrow, and of course I can verify for you. But they were actually satisfied with what I had. So pretty dang good right there, right? So now what I did is that I had an actual, it says here, I had a webinar with my client, and that would include Kareen and Cecile. I spelled their names once again. This was to discuss the offer. I'm going to give you the transcript because now I recorded the meeting. If you use Zoom, Zoom has a function that just auto records as long as you turn it on. So my clients give an acknowledgement. I didn't ask them, hey, can I record this? They acknowledge that it's being recorded, the whole call. After about 15, 20 minutes of my Zoom meeting, I get an email to say all your assets are now available. The assets include the recorded call with them on screen, and it also includes a transcript. So what I'm telling ChatGPT is this. It was a great meeting, and I'm also going to include the PDF document that you created for me, as this is what I went over with them. I would like a recap email. I would like to make it in a very structured way. Here's a recap of your offer, main points, estimated net, which is also in the transcript. Next steps, we're going to counter, and the counter is going to include providing the termite report, rather than committing to clearance. They asked for termite clearance, we're just giving the report, as well as asking to close by the end of the month. So now we're asking them to go from whatever they offered. I think it was a 25, 30-day escrow. We asked them to shorten that. So the closing date would be August 31st or earlier. And lastly, lastly, August 31st or earlier. So you see how I repeated myself, right? And then lastly, I did speak to the real estate agent about the 2% compensation rather than 2.25. He did give some pushback respectfully. He did ask if there's any way. So I'm just talking about the compensation because my clients were on board. They said, look, if he could take this is what we'd like, but we're okay with doing this as well. And then ChatGPT says, absolutely. Here's a polished recap email you can send to Green and Cecile. I structured it around the offer review deck, including the offer snapshot, seller paid items, buyer strength, timeline, and response options. So now, what we're talking about here is two things, efficiency and professionalism. Because if you remember, this is the seller that had her own family realtor that she wanted to work with. When this is all said and done, I have a message from her that says, choosing you as our agent was one of the best things that I've done. And that's really cool, especially knowing that she's the one that told me, John, I already told you that we have a realtor. Pretty much, stop calling me. Remember that? Okay, so now here's my email. Thank you again for both taking the time to meet with me this evening so we could go through the offer. Below is a structured recap of what we discussed, main offer points, offer price. And you see how ChatGPT even bolds certain words and they include some emojis. This just makes it easy for everybody to be able to read and to understand. Look, even the termite and wood pest, it throws a little ant in there. Solar payoff, here's the sun. So now what I do is I go through, I always read it, but then I'm using an iPad, right? So in my iPad, I had to find a workaround. I'll show you why. So I'm gonna copy this text. Okay, so now that I copy this, if I was to only open up my email here, let's look at what happens. If I go to my email and if I paste this, look at how the formatting comes out. It's a little different, right? Okay, so I don't know if I like that. So what I found for me is that if I go to my Gmail, then it keeps everything looking as it should. So let's just open up a new email here.
Without the lines.
This is gonna actually put it exactly like I want. This is exactly how ChatGPT wrote it. And so I will use the Gmail app if I'm copying and pasting because ChatGPT, I think does a really good job on formatting. It makes it easy visually. So I just don't want to lose that. So I just open up the Gmail app. That's just, again, a little kind of tip there, just so as we're moving along. So now when it's all said and done, now last night I was able to say, give me a cool thumbnail. Oh, give me a cool thumbnail that I could use. This actually was not for my social media. This is so that way I could take my video of a recorded video and I just uploaded it to YouTube. I mark it as unlisted. Nobody will see it. The only way you could ever watch it is if you had the link. But I only did that in case my client ever asked me for it. Because again, they knew that it was being recorded. So now let's move on to something else. Let's move on to the next thing. How about requests for repairs? So let's just say that was this discussion with sellers. What if you're representing a buyer and you guys going out and you look at a property and then the property has some issues? You get the inspection report. In addition to that, you get the appraisal report, and the appraisal report has repairs that need to be done in order for the appraiser to sign off because it's an FHA deal. In my case, that's exactly what I had. I had chip paint as an issue for the appraiser that needed to be addressed. If we look at here, what does it say? Repair all peeling paint and rotting wood on exterior wood siding, window framing, wood roof, eaves, and fascia. So what do I have here? I have the termite report from Rockwell Pest Solutions. I have the NHD report given to us by our NHD. And then I had the seller disclosures provided by the seller. So I have seller disclosures. And if you look at my seller disclosures, there was a couple points that they noted. One of the things that they noted was that the neighbor is a nuisance. They said the neighbor's a nuisance because they like to play loud music and they like to have parties. So I contacted my buyer to make sure because my wife said, "Oh, I wouldn't buy that house." I contacted my buyer, and you know what they said? Oh, we're from East Los Angeles. That makes us feel at home.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I can be partying with them.
That's exactly what they said. Oh, we're from East LA. That makes us feel right at home. Like, not a problem. So now what I said is this to ChatGPT. And this is why when we go through this is not about you memorizing, again, any scripts. It's just understanding the logic. I'm representing a buyer who's purchasing a property on J Street in the city of Ontario. I have multiple reports which I've uploaded, including seller disclosures, as well as a termite report. Also, there were some repairs requested by the appraiser. And then lastly, a natural hazard disclosure. Take a look thoroughly at all of these documents, and I would like for you to give me a prompt that I can then upload so that you can create a visual for me that highlights the key points that I need to go over with my client, including the estimated value of the repairs for the appraiser, as well as the key points that were disclosed by the seller, including a nuisance neighbor, as well as potential mold under the toilet. Let me know if you have any questions, but try not to miss any of these details. Now, what did I ask for? What did I ask ChatGPT for? I want to make sure you're following along.
How to address the issues or how to address the repair.
I said, give me a prompt, right? Give me a prompt. So I'm actually just asking for the text. Give me the prompt. What do I need to tell you? Here's what I want, but tell me what I need to tell you. It's like being married. When you're married, it's like, what do you want? Tell me what I need to do to give you what you want. Because if I just try to do it on my own, it ain't gonna work. I know I'm talking to all ladies. Nobody laughed at that. Justin's laughing though. Okay. So I'm telling ChatGPT, tell me what I need to tell you because I just said what I want, right? So now ChatGPT says this.
Like basic, give me a good word so that way I can tell.
Yep. Give me a prompt. Here's what I want, ChatGPT. Here's all this information. Tell me what I need to tell you. Because what I found is that if I just try to tell ChatGPT and give direction to get what I want, sometimes it doesn't work. But if I tell it what I want, then I just say, tell me what I need to tell you. Give me a prompt. That's what it is. Give me a prompt. What do I need to copy and paste to you? So that's another hack, right? If you don't know, and Miss, your name in the yellow?
Joyce.
Joyce. So if you tell, like you said, I don't know what questions to ask.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, what do I need to ask you? It's kind of that logic. And I do this all the time, like with my own stuff, I do it a lot. I'll tell ChatGPT, give me the prompt so I can then give it right back to you.
But I mean, what was the goal here? How to present the request for repairs?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting
So
to ask.
we're still halfway through the prompt. What I want to do is I want to create a presentation so I can go over all of these details. We have the repairs for request from the appraiser. I have the termite inspection report. And I have the seller disclosure, so now we need to address this. I had already gone over the inspection with them, so that's why this is not included here.
So this presentation, whatever you have right there, is before you get the client?
No, this is I already put my client under contract.
So this is for a buyer.
This is my buyer. Yeah, we
This is the buyer.
switched gears. Remember I said, okay, we're switching to a buyer now. So my client, I met him at an open house. We put him under contract right down the street off of Benson and I Street, probably is close. Benson and I, or Benson and Jade. And now we have the seller disclosures. We have the termite, and I know that there's some termite work that needs to be done. And then the appraiser came back and said, hey, there's some issues. We can't sign off on this yet. So I had already discussed the inspection with my client. So that was already done. So now my client, what I want to do, because remember, I had done the presentation for my seller, and I thought, oh, that was actually really cool. I would like to make this simple and easy and establish a process so that way I could create another presentation to go over these details with my client. That was my thought. So this is where I tell ChatGPT, what did I say? Okay, take a look thoroughly at all these documents. I would like for you to give me a prompt that I can then upload so that you can create a visual for me that highlights the key points that I need to go over with my client, including the estimated value of repairs from the appraiser, as well as the key points that were disclosed by the seller, including a nuisance neighbor, as well as a potential mold under the toilet. Let me know if you have any questions, but try not to miss any of the important details. Remember, I'm looking for a prompt because I'll then follow up with the prompt and I will upload my headshot and I will upload a link to the real estate listing so that you can pull the primary photo so that the photo can be included in this beautiful slide or slides. And that's what I'm going to ask for. So that's what I'm going to ask for, is I'm going to ask for slides to be created. So it's okay if you give me a prompt that produces more than one slide. Now, if you think that what I'm typing doesn't make sense grammatically, it doesn't, because I'm talking it out as I'm thinking what I want. But I know that AI is smart enough to take my thoughts, my jumbled thoughts, and clarify it. So this is what now ChatGPT does here. It takes 1 minute. Absolutely. I reviewed the appraisal condition note, termite report, NHD, and seller disclosures. Here's a copy and paste prompt I'd use when you're ready to upload with your headshot and listing link photo. Key items I'm baking into this prompt. Appraiser called out for repairing peeling paint and rotting wood on exterior wood siding, window frames, roof eaves, and fascia. Termite report shows dry wood, termite treatment of 675, fungus dry rot 1500, and peeling weathered exterior wood at section 2. So look at that. ChatGPT went through the actual termite report and is noting exactly what is listed in the section 2 clearance of this report. So now here is this really long prompt that ChatGPT gave me. Now I'll tell you, here's what I didn't do. I didn't sit here and read it. Instead, what I did was I uploaded my headshot, that's me. I uploaded a photo of the house, that's the money shot that the realtor uploaded on the internet. And then I copied and pasted it here. Look, I copied this and I gave it right back to ChatGPT with my photo, with my headshot. And then here's what ChatGPT produced for me. Buyer disclosure and repair review. Prepared for Brandon and Stephanie. Address of the property. Look at this. Money shot of the photo. That's me. Big picture summary. Appraiser required repairs. Exterior wood paint repairs tied to appraisal conditions. Termite, dry rot findings. Dry rot termite evidence. Seller disclosure concerns. NHD environmental review. So now if we look at this, here's the appraiser required repairs. Required repairs. Exterior wood siding, wood framing, and then this is the estimate. Termite and wood destroying pest report. Look at this. Like just how well structured it is. Now, I think because I ran this prompt, I did this prompt like weeks ago, and I'm thinking that ChatGPT now gave me a report that looks, it's not as organized. This is what it looked like when I gave it to my client. I definitely didn't present it to them like this. And I think just because it's been sitting here trying to draw off the memory of what I created a long time ago. But I have these reports on my computer when I went over with my client. But this is now where I simply send my client a Zoom link, they jump online, and I have a visual report to go over the details with them. I didn't do this previously. I didn't do this 18 months ago. I didn't even do this a year ago. The reason I started doing this is because I know that I work with a broker out of Denver, Colorado, and I mentioned it before. His closing rate when he has a qualified buyer is truly second to none. If he has a qualified buyer that's going to buy, buyers do not leave him. There's no, oh, I tried buying a house with him for 2 months and then I moved on to another realtor. His closing rate is ridiculously high. So then I see that and I'm like, what are you doing? Why do so many people stick with you? Because I don't have that sticky factor with buyers. I feel like I'm a lot stronger with sellers. And I noticed everything for him is a presentation. Everything for him is visual. And he does everything he can to get the buyers to show up at his office. And if it's not at the office, then it's going to be through the internet. So I'm on the lending side, I'm a lender. I'm his lender in Colorado. My partner does usually all of the buyer consultations. But my partner was in Mexico for a wedding. So he's like, hey man, I can't make it. Can you jump on board? And I'm like, yeah, not a problem. So still, he put me on where I'm on the big TV and I'm doing the interview with the client right through it. So my whole point is that presentation matters, because otherwise, how would you go over with the client? you send them the documents where all it is a bunch of words and it looks like legal contracts, and then you jump on the phone and talk to them through it. Not that that's bad, because that's how I did it for 21 years. But what I've noticed is that clients that I've already done this for, they just feel like it's such a better way for me to be able to deliver the information. In fact, my client, this guy said, it didn't even feel like we were buying a house. That's how smooth this process was for you or with you as well. Any questions there? Good? Okay, one more that I want to show you, then I'm going to wrap up.
You know what, I have a question, because, I have buyers, and in Pasadena, a lot of the agents are giving all the disclosures, everything. So would I put like the whole inspection report in there too, so that, or just the main, summary page of the inspection?
No, I go over my inspection report in the same way. I'll upload a full elite group home
For the
inspection.
buyers? Okay.
Yeah, and I throw it in there, and then what I love about it is that I'll tell ChatGPT, we're not trying to scare the client. We're not calling attention to the things that don't need fixing or repairs. Really what we're focused on are main ticket items. And then anything else that falls in line with being to be addressed. And ChatGPT will do exactly what I just showed you, but with inspection reports all day as well.
Do you spell out what main ticket items are, or you let ChatGPT?
So the more information that you give, the better. That's a great question. So I will indicate what that is: roofing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and foundation, if there's any foundation issues, which almost for us is none, right?
No, it's been a long time since I've done an elite inspection, but with the other inspectors that I've used, there's a lot, I mean, they call out everything, so some things, make it feel like the house is falling apart, when in reality, they're just being overcompensating, with information. Have you found that ChatGPT is good at, eliminating that noise, so to speak?
It is, and I think a big part of it is also because of the information that I give, that I feed to ChatGPT. And so, for example, this is a request for repairs from the buyer for my property on Amber Court. Now, they asked for quite a bit. They asked for a sizable credit. They asked for solar to be paid off. They asked for a plumbing issue to be fixed. They asked for the HVAC to be fixed. And so one party is like, okay, yeah, they asked us for this. We don't need to give it to them. The other party, the other sister, she's like, exactly what you said. If you look at the inspection report, there's so much red all over the inspection report. I mean, you would think that our house is falling apart. And so I had to definitely calm her down, because she was getting so emotionally riled up. And so I think my fault in that case is that I focused on the executor of the estate, because originally she told me, I'm the executor. I'm going to bring my sister along, but whatever I want to do, whatever I sign, we're moving forward with. So I didn't really involve her until we were in escrow, because then the sister said, I'm getting so many calls from my sister, like, I'm sorry, I'm having to deal with it. So can you please include her in everything, so that way we can keep this moving forward? So now I had to play the political game, right, of putting my arm around her as well. So I would say when I'm talking to ChatGPT, I'm saying things like, if there are issues or items that can be handled by a handyman, simply feel free to state that. Also, what I know is that handyman items can also typically be handled by hiring a handyman and paying a flat day rate. A lot of these handymen pay them a day rate, they're happy to make the money, and then they'll fix a few items, whatever. They gotta put a regulator on the, for the plumbing, or, so that's the information that I feed into ChatGPT. So the more information that you give, I think the better results that you're gonna get.
So you specify, tell me what can be addressed with a handyman versus a licensed.
Exactly.
electrician.
That's 100% correct. And then remember, when you're doing your prompt, it's like intelligence, right? So you don't want to choose something that's going to give you a quick instant response. Remember I told you I work with high. High is what I'm always working with, because I want to make sure that it's actually thinking. And then if it's going to take considerable thought, then I go deep research mode, and then I'm just waiting a little bit longer. So now in this case with my client, here's how I presented to them. I uploaded the request for repairs. And then I told ChatGPT, okay, I want to go through this report in detail. It includes a few things. The repair request from the buyer, they're asking for us to address a leak under the tub as well as a $16,000 credit clearance, as well as a $16,000 credit, and then clearance for termite. There's also one major item, I believe that they were going to be asking that we repair. I'm gonna be meeting with my sellers. I wanna be able to go over this in detail. And I even said, I think that they're asking for one other item to be repaired, but I couldn't remember what it was, but it's in the documents. So that's what I'm telling ChatGPT, like, there's something else that they're asking for. I couldn't remember, it was the HVAC, that's what it was. So I said, on this, I'm asking it, and ChatGPT says, there are 4 separate buyer requests, not 3. That's, I mean, isn't that awesome? Like, that's like your assistant, your high-level assistant looking through the paperwork to say, no, John, you worthless agent, you were wrong. It's 4, not 3.
That's amazing.
And I love that. And it says, here's exactly what they're asking for. Heater, HVAC, that's what I forgot. Leaking tower, tub, shower, drain under the house. Section 1, termite clearance, $16,000 credit at closing. They included a roof estimate, $22,000 for a brand new roof, $16,000 in order for them to repair the roof, including an overlay. And then a partial north side repair, $5,500. They included a detailed roof analysis. They paid an actual roof inspector to come out, and so they included a whole roofing report as well. What the buyer is not expressly requesting, although the inspection contains numerous other findings, the buyer did not specifically request repairs for, and then here's a recommended immediate action plan. Priority, independent roof evaluation. I recommend obtaining at least 1, preferably 2 independent licensed roofing evaluations. Think about what ChatGPT is telling us. Pretend you got a brand new agent who's off the streets, never closed a real estate deal, but they came to my class, and now ChatGPT is advising you as a mentor in this office. You would advise, hey, listen, you guys got a roofing report. They provided one showing $22,000 for replacement. I'd recommend you guys getting your own report as well, so that way you can evaluate, right? And we did exactly that. HVAC diagnosis, plumbing and repair estimate, obtain rock level report. So this is where, like, this is just so organized. This is telling us what to do here.
So you uploaded everything.
I uploaded everything. Yep. And then
Yeah.
let's see what they actually gave me here.
And that's for a presentation.
You uploaded, so were you doing it on your iPad or your computer? When you uploaded everything?
Okay, question. Did I upload this on my iPad or my computer? This was all uploaded on my computer. I could have easily done it on my iPad too, because I'm really proficient with my iPad, but I know I'm a lot more proficient than most people on my iPad. I only say that, you guys know Ryan Orr, title guy? He's been around forever. I was doing a class and Ryan Orr said, I wish I could use my iPad the way you use your iPad. Like, the way you use it is just nuts. But I'm also a approved trainer for Apple on the iPad, just so you guys know.
That's why.
I have many questions.
So, yeah, same exact thing. All I do is just save the file. I love my iPad Pro. I love this thing more than anything because I feel like it's like a little mini computer. But I also really enjoy working from my actual big desktop from home.
From phone?
No, I pay the extra money. I'm not a hotspot. I pay whatever it is, like $30, $40. What I don't even know, so I could go on the internet independently with this. Because I'm always online with it.
I have my iPad too.
Yep.
I'm a dedicated line, but that's why I wanted to ask you. I have my computer, my Apple computer too, so I would be doing this and uploading everything on chat.
ChatGPT?
Yeah, but do I need a separate, do I do it on my computer, like the app on the phone, right? But what do you do on the computer?
So all I do is this. When I'm on ChatGPT, I'm on ChatGPT right now.
Wait, you would go on,
ChatGPT.com.
Safari, okay, that's what I
Yep.
wanted, okay.
ChatGPT.com, and then just log in with your account.
Okay.
That's it.
Usually, so use the app.
It's all synced, so if you do something on your computer, and then you log on your iPad or on your phone, it's all synced.
Yeah, okay, it will be connected, they have, not like in Google.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just like Google.
Yeah.
Yep, so my iPad or my phone, I use the app. My iPad, I use a combination of either the app or the website. Here's the only reason I use the website. Because if I'm doing a live demo, I could do this. I can't do that with the app. So that's the only reason why I'll go now. So, but what I use, like if I'm not doing a demo at home, I'm always using the app. I like the app better. The only time I do the website is if I'm doing a demo for you guys. But this is what ChatGPT created for me. Now it created another slide deck for me, okay? I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? Cost exposure snapshot. Even included photos for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little old. Practice.
Rockwell revised based on Rockwell expense, $750.
Was it at 16,000 originally?
No, well, so their request was 16,000, but as I'm going through this is breaking down based off of each item independently. Termite shows $750. That's what you're seeing right there. Yep. Next 48 hours, what do? It even gives me a game plan. Pretend I'm a realtor, like I don't know where to go. I don't know what to say. Well, here's what we could do. According to my partner, we can call a roofer in the next 48 hours and get a quote. We could also call HVAC. We could also call a plumber. And this is exactly what I advised my client on the call. I called 2 plumbers. I got 2 plumbers that came out. And then there was 2 guys. One guy gave this bid, the other one gave this bid, but then this guy was like, I don't want to lose a deal with this guy. I'll come in and here. Both licensed, and then now it was who's going to be able to come in quicker, because then once we all agreed, then we closed pretty dang quickly right after that.
Are you
So you
representing the buyer?
I'm representing the seller here.
Okay.
Now you represent the seller.
Yep.
Before you represented the buyer, right?
Yep. Now this isn't so yeah, I'm just showing you like when I'm representing the buyer, I'm going to organize all the documents I get so I can say, guys, look, here's the situation. Here's the state of the property. How would you like to proceed and move forward?
So you show me how he approaches requests for repairs and disclosure from either side, no, from both sides, you know? This is what he does when he's representing the sellers, and he showed us the other day.
Yeah.
With these.
I
But-
got that.
But what floors me is this. I am just so impressed by the fact that AI is smart enough to be able to take all the stuff that we do here, and you would be able to do this on your own. It would just take you a lot more time. It would take you considerably more time in order to decipher and then pull out, extract all the info. Then to present it, this is where this comes in, I think, in a way that's just second to none. Yep. So this is it. This is what I wanted to go over with you. It was us leveraging AI in order to go over things like disclosures, repair requests, if you're representing the buyer, if you're representing the seller, and then also offer details. Now, if you receive 3 offers, you can actually tell ChatGPT, I'm gonna upload all the details for offer number 1. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, ChatGPT, ready? Here's offer number 2. Upload more documents. Okay, one more offer, ChatGPT. Here's offer number 3. Now I want you to evaluate all 3 offers and organize them for me, highlighting based off of your opinion, what are your thoughts? Who is the stronger? You could even ask who's the stronger offer.
Couldn't you just upload all 3 RPAs?
Yeah, well, when I say independent documents, it would be RPA, but also if I have financing documentation, I want to include that as well. If I have the first page of the credit report. So those are all those documents that I want to be able to include to make sure that ChatGPT can help me organize and evaluate. I'll show you one last thing and then we'll be done. This is going to be like 1 minute. I just want to show you guys what I sent to my client yesterday. And this is something that I was just like, damn, I am good. But then I thought, it's not even, it's
It's your
not.
assistant.
Yeah, so I met this client at an open house. I did a buyer's consultation with them. The buyer's consultation was all through Gamma. I created, now remember, you guys remember Gamma, right?
Yeah.
With 1 sentence, you can create a presentation. Create a presentation for a first-time home buyer. Nope, I want to customize it more. Create a presentation for a first-time home buyer, and their names are Ramon and Rocio. Now it's customized. Nope, let's customize it a bit more. Create a first-time home buyer presentation for my buyers, Ramon and Rocio, who are looking to purchase in either Riverside, Fontana, or Jurupa Valley, and make sure to promote me as their professional agent. That's what I did. And then right away, boom, Gamma created the presentation for me. Welcome, Rocio and Ramon. So then I send them the Zoom link. I'm doing the screen share. So then here's what I find out. They tell me, look, we're thinking our max payment is like 4,000 a month. We really don't want to go over that. Preferably it's like 2,500 a month. I'm like, yeah, not gonna happen. Okay, like $4,000 a month. So I said, here's what I'm gonna do, guys. So by tomorrow night, that was yesterday night. By tomorrow night, I'm gonna send you over some examples of properties, and I'm gonna give you, here's a house based off your estimated payment, but I'm gonna also give you some options based off of what I know I could qualify you for, because I could get you a much higher mortgage. They just wanna be financially conservative. So I did the numbers, and I know I could get them about a $500,000 house for about a $4,000 payment. So look at this. This is an email created by ChatGPT. Ramon and Rocio, it was a pleasure meeting you both yesterday. As promised, I put together a buying power comparison showing several homes in the area that you're considering, along with estimated FHA monthly payments. Your ideal monthly target is $4,000 per month. This is all chat written driven. So I put property number 1, estimated payment. ChatGPT came up with all of these for me. But then let's take it a step further. I actually created this beautiful design for them, so that way they could actually compare. This was all created by AI. Ramon and Rocio's buying power snapshot. Sample homes in Redlands, Loma Linda, and Rupa Valley, monthly target, $4,000 a month, at roughly $500,000 estimated monthly payments, $3,900 to $4,200, depending on HOA. A promotional new build rate to keep a higher purchase price near the same monthly target. And look at it pulls the photos from the web links that I uploaded. And then this is right here, best opportunity. I think the best opportunity, in my opinion, is taking them to a new build. For about $4,000, I could get them this $560,000 house with a 2% tax rate and the HOA, because they're offering a promotional rate of 3.99% right now for FHA. So this is what I created for my client. And then because I think the new build, and I don't even know what the new build is paying, but I know they're paying something. Because I think the new build makes most sense, I told ChatGPT, this is awesome. Now, please create a 1-page document just highlighting the new build so I can send both of these PDFs to my clients. And that's what I sent them right here. This one's not downloading, but it's a beautiful 1-page design just of the Lennar Emerald Ridge.
Question, so did you upload all the pictures plus the, new built homes into?
I did not upload the pictures. What I uploaded was, this is what I uploaded. This is what I uploaded. Hire Ramon and Rocio's. So I'm telling ChatGPT, here's some points, and then look at this. Estimated monthly payment. Here's the house. Here's the HOA. All I'm doing is uploading the links. That's it. Yep.
When you were getting the instructions to do that comparison, did you also let AI know the interest rate?
Yep. So I said, here's this.
Yeah.
Based off of me qualifying them yesterday, based off of their scores, the FHA rate would be X. It is an FHA loan, so take that into consideration, because ChatGPT knows now they need to bump up the loan amount, right? It does all that. Even if you do VAs, it'll add the funding fee and everything, which is like so remarkable.
So you are selling the cities, because it's based in the cities, some cities are lower price than the other ones.
So I said in my actual to ChatGPT, the assumption is that the tax rate's gonna be 1.25% unless I instruct otherwise. Because as a lender, that's typically what we'll do. If you sent me a buyer, I would say, okay, do you know what the tax rate is? Because if you're like, no, I don't know, well, we can base it off of the 1.25, but who knows, like if it's in Eastvale and you're at 1.7, 1.67, we're gonna have to adjust. So I have those notes in there, so that way it's always noted for my client. And then I give a estimated annual insurance rate. I think it's like $2,500 for an annual insurance policy as well. And I make sure
That makes the difference.
Yep. But look at this. This is the one for Rupa Valley. This is the one that I did yesterday, guys. And I did all of this in such a short amount of time that even I was like blown away by the results. I was like, that was super efficient.
I have a really basic question. The link for the listings, what link are you talking about?
So
It's
here's,
not the MLS number.
this is what I got right here. Homes.com.
A link from homes.com?
Yep, you can do homes.com, realtor.com, you could do Zillow.com, you could do anything that you want. I just happened to be on homes.com, and so I was pulling the links directly from homes.com. And if you guys look here, this is all I said here. Homes.com, 500 grand. right? And then I said, I did a home buyer's consultation yesterday with Ramon and Rocio. Ramon spelled R-A-M-O-N, Rocio, R-O-C-I-O. I said they want a payment of approximately $4,000. Now look at this. Assumption is that we're looking at an interest rate of 6.375%. We're also looking at approximately 1.25% tax rate, and we're looking at an annual insurance premium of $2,000 per year, not monthly, premium per year, $2,000 divided by 12. I want to be able to take each one of these links, take into consideration the price, take into consideration the assumptions I gave you. No, it's an FHA loan because there's an added expense for the FHA loan, and let's break down estimated monthly payments. So ChatGPT is the one that came up with all the estimated monthly payments for me. So
That's amazing.
clients love this. Like when I've sent it to clients, clients tell me, and I'll tell you why I started doing this. Remember that Denver broker? What he would do is he would call his lender, which is again us, but my partner does all the heavy lifting. Every house, my friend has to go and create the breakdown, what's the payment? And then what the broker would do is he would get the listing, he would take the payment info, and he would throw it into Manus, and he would ask for a PDF document to be created for every listing. And then he prints them. And he showed 28 houses one time in one weekend to one buyer. That was like, what the heck, 28 houses. So we did 29 payments. I'm like, there has to be a better way. So then that's where I just started using the AI. We started comparing to say, is ChatGPT pretty spot on? And it's pretty dang spot on because I'm giving all the info.
Going back to minutes, I know in the first class you mentioned what the strength of each model is. Remind me again, because I'm Googling right now what is not as good for, but it's like talking about coding and doing charts, so on and so forth. What do you use that? Mostly use it for, what does it look like?
So do you remember the presentations? This is what I like about Manus. Manus is really good for slide decks. Yes, so.
So the visuals.
The visuals. manus.im. Yep.
.im.
.im. So I'll show you this right here. This is an example. This is why I really like Manus, because Manus is the only one that I know of that can create slide decks that look like this.
Yeah, that's the one that you used the first time.
Yep, and I use Manus every time I meet with a seller. It's Manus.
So you take the text from ChatGPT, drop it into Manus, and then say, create me a slide.
And then what I do is this. Let's go back to Manus just so you guys can see. For those that don't know how we create these slides, we come on over here. And then when we click on create slides. And then you're gonna see, well, how many slides do you want? Well, it depends on how many ChatGPT gives us. And then from there, we choose the slide template and look at all these beautiful designs. And
So John, if Manus is for decks, but we've also used Gamma, which one do you recommend more?
okay, so question is, what do I recommend for Gamma or Manus? Manus, I think, is the best solution for listings. And the reason is because it's very simple and easy to lay out the details for the property, estimated price range, the community features, the school district, as well as the economics. I feel like Manus is just received so well from sellers. When sellers see it, I've had many sellers already acknowledge the way that you break the information down. It is so simple and easy for me to understand. And that's a big part of my sales proposition. Because remember, confused buyers don't buy. And a lot of realtors will confuse their clients, right? And it's never about what you know here. It's about how clearly can we deliver that message. Now, what I enjoy Gamma for is I really like Gamma for the home buyer consultations.
So Gamma for home buyers.
Yep. Yep, and then we'll just take a look at why. So here's Gamma here. So this is a deal, I closed this transaction right here. This is my client for J Street. It's right here where we go, I'm right through, I'm sharing with them right through Zoom. And I do a presentation, welcome. let me give you some information about myself. I'm a local real estate agent, blah, 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 right? Look at the visuals, they're just simple. I just think it's very easy to understand.
I don't know.
I just like the way that it lays it out, and then I'm like, I'm over here, let's talk about down payment, taxes, and insurance. And so I like this for presentations for processes, but when it comes to details of a home, I think Gamma is just so beautifully done. It's the whiteboard specifically, it's just very approachable, and I think that's a big part of it.
And you can literally do a presentation using ChatGPT and all of that.
Yep, you can use them all. The only reason I show you guys Manus is like I say, and that's why I show Gamma. Gamma's free, so use Gamma.
And you said that's for what?
For presentations.
Okay.
I use Manus because you'll often hear me say, I don't like to rest on my laurels, meaning if something's working, but I think I can improve it, what else can I do? Plus, also, I'm thinking just from a visual standpoint, branding is a big part of my brand. Like the way that I present, the way that I market, the way that I promote, it's part of my brand that I bring to clients. And I'm like a full package deal, right? Like if I was gonna go to a listing presentation, I wouldn't be dressed like this as an example. But I wanna make sure that my clients understand, I don't just offer cool videos for your houses. I don't just take cool photos, but it's my full packaging.
So Manus also has a free, oh no, it doesn't have any.
No, Manus is a $40 a month, right? And now Realtor just told me that they have a $20 per month version. Do you see that there?
Yes, there's a $10 actually.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's all new.
First month, yeah, and then after it's 20.
Previously, there was no $20 option. Previously, it was only $40 a month.
What does it mean, credits? Like the $40 one comes with the 8,000
Okay,
credits.
so every presentation that you create for a seller is gonna cost you about maybe 250 credits. So if you have 8,000 credits, you can do a lot of presentations. Now, if you cancel your service, you're gonna lose all your credits when that monthly cycle stops. So if you can do $20 a month, I think it's definitely well worth it for sure. What we'll do is I'm gonna recommend, Justin, that our next class, I think that we should look at doing just a listing presentation class.
Yes.
I think that would be really helpful, yeah. Top to bottom, because I feel like that's one of the areas where everybody really needs to sharpen their skills is on listing presentations.
I would also like if we can propose maybe creating a buyer's guide, a seller's guide.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I actually have a seller's guide here, just so you can kind of see how I do mine. Every seller gets one of these. If not, I'll bring one next time I come in. I have them in my car. I have them always like readily available, and I take them to all my open houses, just in case.
Do you have any of them printed?
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yep, I have them printed. So I send them right here to Montclair, and I have them printed. They're available for me just in the event that I need to send them or give them. And I have them at my open houses because, and there's something that I take to every one of my sellers as well.
Just pass.
Yeah, next time we have our class, I'll show you guys exactly what I have there. And you can use AI now to create some really cool ones. I have a designer that created mine, and it's very in alignment with this. This is my slide deck that I use when I meet with sellers. And the look and everything is very similar.
So when you do your slide deck, do you give them something in print as well?
Yep. Uh-huh.
And do you do your slide deck on your iPad?
Everything's on my iPad when I'm presenting to my clients, yeah.
John, would you say that if you had the opportunity to be in front of a home buyer's class, what would you give them, a home buyer's guide or something else?
Yeah, I would recommend giving them a home buyer's guide for sure. I think a home buyer's guide would be very helpful, so that way they can have some takeaways. I would make sure that you're branded on the home buyer's guide, that your contact information is at least included on the footer of every page. And then I think a one-page document that highlights the steps of what's involved in buying a home, I think would be very important as well. Yep. Now, I never used to include any personal information about myself, but I have a really good friend of mine who's an amazing listing agent. And him and I we co-listed a house together, and he took the lead on the presentation. And I saw how he incorporated photos of his family, And I thought that that was a really good touch. My broker client in Denver, he doesn't agree with that. He's like very all business. All 20, he's like, they don't need to know about my family. They don't need to know about my wife and my kids. They're not hiring me because of my kids. And then the other guy's like, no, I actually like them to know that when I'm working for my family, for their family. So I'm like, I kind of
relate to.
I get it on both.
Yeah.
You know?
A little bit of that, it will help,
Yeah,
not too much.
yeah, for sure.
Question, if you have a, old brochure and you want to, you know, it's like 20 years old, and you wanna update it, can you, upload it into ChatGPT and say, hey, you know, bring me, I don't know, redo it, see, that's what it's all about.
You
What
could,
say.
yeah, you could. You could upload it to ChatGPT and ask for an updated, more modern version. I would make sure that you upload your headshot, so that way it also uses your photo. Don't rely on them copying your photo. I had a broker office that I spoke for yesterday. It was one that I met at the CAR conference. It was a virtual. And they made a flyer and it didn't even look like me. And she tagged me so I could share it. I'm like, I can share this. It doesn't even look like me. And so when we got on the call, we actually discussed that. So like yesterday, I made a photo announcing my house that I just sold. And then I asked for a modification. It put my wife's name instead of her sister's name on her photo because we're both on the photo. The moment I asked for it to modify her name, all of a sudden it took my photo and it added these layers of shadows on my face. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but ChatGPT is notorious for this. Anytime you ask for edits, it's like another version. So I went back and just asked for a whole new one, corrected it, and that's what we posted. So let's do this listing presentation class, next one, and then also for the buyer's guide. And that's a great question. I do have a buyer's guide. I do have a seller's guide as well. And so I'll share with you guys and show you guys exactly what I do there. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys.
I appreciate it.
Do you have a business card?
Is this your first?
Sorry, Ellie, I'm in your way.
No, I came once, but I didn't,